Welcome to this Scottish Book Trust Walk the Walk training. My name is Claire Askew and I deliver CPD training sessions around Walk the Walk on behalf of Scottish Book Trust. This video is the first of 4 training videos. Walk the Walk is an innovative graphic novel created by Scottish Book Trust using a tried and tested methodology. It was one of 44 projects funded by the Scottish Government's Tackling Sectarianism initiative. The book was written by Gowan Calder and illustrated by Jill Calder, and the online support materials were developed by Scottish Book Trust. Adult literacy learners and tutors from across Scotland were involved in every stage of the development of Walk the Walk. The end result is an engaging resource that can be used with adult literacy learners aged 16+ and in youth group settings. The first thing we're going to do is an activity called Vote with Your Feet. And you can probably tell from the name that you are going to have to get up and move around a little bit. But before you do that, I'll just explain roughly what we're going to do. This is the activity that we did first with every single group that we went out to see. And the reason we did that is it's an activity that allows you to get a really clear snapshot of where your learners are and where your members of staff are in relation to how much they know about sectarianism, the extent to which it affects their daily life, the extent to which they see it as they go through their work or going to college or whatever. This is a slightly more interactive way of me asking you questions on a scale of 0 to 10. So rather than just asking you to give me your answer, you can physically show me your answer by moving around on this line. And then the first question I'm going to ask you is, how confident do you feel that you know what sectarianism is? So place yourself somewhere on the continuum, move around a bit. In the graph, you'll see there's a red line, and this red line represents the continuum that learners and tutors would stand on when they're answering the questions. The question is at the top, and at either end of the red line you can see the extreme ends of the continuum. So sectarianism affects everything in my life, or sectarianism affects nothing in my life. And then down the side of the graph you'll see there are the names of various communities, and these are places that we visited and did this activity, and the crosses each represent one person and where they stood on the continuum. Something you'll notice about this particular graph is, for example, in the Edinburgh group, there was a big difference between where the learner stood and where the tutor stood. As you can see, you get all kinds of results from doing this activity, and some of them may be surprising to you. It's a really useful activity to do, not only to get a snapshot of where your learners and your members of staff are in relation to sectarianism in their communities. It's also a really useful jump-off point for discussion. I'll show you another one. This is a question about social media. Almost everybody went to the learners anyway, went to the it's really, really common end of the room. And again, tutors kind of going, that's quite surprising for me. But it was also useful for those tutors because when we talked to the learners about why they'd gone to that end of the room, we started to discover that especially young people, the younger they were, the more this was true, were less aware of things like privacy settings and the ability to turn off certain things if you didn't want to see them, the ability to mute people, all that kind of thing. They were less aware that those options were available. And so by doing this activity, the tutors were able to see maybe we need to do some internet safety work. And actually, as a result of seeing this ourselves, we decided that a bit of internet safety stuff needed to be in the book. So one of our jump-off points is about social media, and not just how to use it safely, but also a bit about how there are now new laws in place that do punish people if they put sectarian things on social media in a public space. We recommend that you go through the Vote with Your Feet activity again after you've read all the way through Walk the Walk. This is useful because it will let you see any change in your learners' attitudes towards sectarianism or any change in the way in which they see sectarianism around them.